Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be discussing today, no product review, sorry for those of you who were hoping, but we're going to be discussing Flight Simulator 2024. I'm sure everyone's seen the trailers, the promos, and all of that sort of stuff, but I want to take a more critical look. Just to be completely and totally transparent, I'm excited for this sim. It is definitely an improvement over 2020, but I don't think it's going to be quite everything that what everyone else thinks it's going to be, and we'll get into that later. But first, let's take a look at some of, and this is just going to be a quick overview. There are dozens upon dozens of videos that other channels have done talking in depth about what this sim is going to be bringing you for 2024, and I suggest you go watch those. I'm just going to be overviewing, but nonetheless, let's get started here. So this is the main landing page, and you can see straight away we're offered with 4 different versions. What does each one get? We'll get to that in just a moment. You can again see some of the overview stuff here. The career mode, kind of exciting. I was never really big on Asobo's original like landing challenges and that sort of stuff, but the big thing is going to be this guy here. So what does this get us? So starting with the standard edition here at the bottom, you can see a pretty healthy list of entry-level aircraft. I don't think the FS2024 entry level was this large, so we definitely have a larger swath of aircraft initially available to us. There's obviously quite a few new ones dotting in, like the A321LR, the Beluga, stuff like that. One thing I do want to point out, and you'll see this in both the standard and the deluxe and premium deluxe versions, is I suspect that a lot of these aircraft that are quote-unquote new to the sim are pre-existing models that have been purchased from third-party devs. The Optica is one that comes to mind. This has been on the Orbix store for so long. We obviously already saw they did that with the AnyBuilds A310. So I'm guessing that's what's going to happen with a lot of these quote-unquote new aircraft. The same thing with the Twin Otter, you know, obviously Aerosoft made a Twin Otter, so stuff like that. So I'm not going to go through all of these. Things I am excited for is the MAX 8 737. It'd be cool to get the updated full glass panel version of that. Hopefully that's pretty good out of the box. Just looking through here, the PC-12 NGX. I don't know if that's going to be was that SWS Studios who made that. Don't know if that's going to be a recant of that, but their aircraft in the current sim in 2020 is very good, so I won't complain if it is. The R66, I'm willing to bet that's going to be a Cowan Sims creation. The good old Sikorsky Sky Crane, that's going to be exciting, and if we get into the firefighting, the CL415 should be good. That's about it. Probably the A321 long range too. It looks like the Neo version as well, with those bigger LEAP engines. So that's about it. The airship will be cool for a little bit, but I think that's about it on the standard list that really kind of catches my overall interest. Not to say that, you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to like a different aircraft, but so these are the aircraft that you're going to get with the standard edition. Again, good, healthy, upfront starting list of aircraft. Let's move into the deluxe and premium deluxe. So in adding the deluxe, one of the things that actually kind of dismayed me was you get the steam gauge Cessna 172. So if you scroll down, you can see that the G1000 variant is here in the standard, but the steam gauge one is part of the deluxe, which is interesting nonetheless. The Beech Baron, again, that was a already included aircraft in the previous version of the sim. I think that this should have been down here and, you know, maybe move, I don't know, the Beluga or something else up into the deluxe. Diamond aircraft, the DA-40 was in the previous sim, although I'm saying this, I'm not sure if those were in the deluxe or not. I should actually probably check on that, so scratch what I was saying before. For new aircraft, the Cessna 404 looks interesting. be about it. And the only reason I'm really interested in the 404 is because I fly the fly somewhere 414 pretty often. The Albatross will be neat for a little while, but I think that'll trail off for me. Stepping into the Premium Deluxe, there's a lot of cool offerings here, in my opinion. The H225 should be cool. Don't know who they got on board for the C-17, but that'll be interesting to check out. 787-10's making a return. PC-24, that'll be a cool jet to fly. I've actually sat one of those. Obviously, you got the Dreamlifter and the 747 firefighting variant. And I think I like the Saab 340 as well. That'll be fun. CH-47, depending on how the sim flies. Rotorcraft and Flight Simulator have just been a little bit, I guess, too static, if that makes sense. Flying a real rotorcraft, and this is my biggest complaint, flying a real rotorcraft, you're constantly making just small adjustments to your anti-torque or cyclic or collective. And you can really almost just lock your controls where you're at in Flight Sim, and like you could trim out, and that's not to say that you can't trim out a real helicopter, you obviously can, but so that's what is on deck for offerings. Let me go out of F11 mode here. And did I already cover these? I did, but we will have a little bit more. So your standard edition, like we talked about, you've got 70 aircraft initially and 150 airports. Interesting that, so I don't know if that 150 versus, you know, your 160 airports, because what does that include globally? Because obviously it's a global situation. Almost every airport was modeled in 2020. I'm sure there's some, you know, small privately owned airports that weren't, but I wonder how many airports there actually are worldwide. Let me look at that really quick. It's way more than 150. Over 40,000. So over 40,000. And just to prove that I'm not lying, let me over there. So there you go. Over 40,000. So it's, I don't know. I mean, 150 is still a good number, especially if you're, I mean, that's going to cover all your major airports for sure. But if you've got a home airport that you want to fly out of, you might be SOL as it is. Deluxe Edition gives you another 10 aircraft and 155 airports. Premium Deluxe steps it up to 95, another 15 aircraft, and then another 5 airports. Steelbook, an interesting concept. I think we've, as a society, kind of evolved, progressed, I guess, if you will, past collectible game editions. Everything's digitalized now, you know. I think the last proper physical copy game that I bought with a like deluxe collector's edition was probably like Halo 3, where you got the cool helmet and the steel or like aluminum case backing. So Aviator Edition, 125 aircraft, 160 airports. And then obviously there's this collector's edition here. So you get a AN225 and 1/5000 scale, a flight bag, a quote-unquote collectible retail box, a sheet to put that together, logo pin, and a game code, a letter, and a lithograph, which is a fancy word for a nicely laminated photo. There's their merch. Let's talk pricing. So we're going to look at 2 spots. The pricing will be the same, but I want to talk about where I think the best place to buy Flight Simulator 2024 will be, depending on your platform. If you're on Xbox, obviously your only option is the Xbox store, but the vast majority of you guys, I would imagine, are on some sort of PC platform. So we're going to dive a little bit more into that. But pricing, upfront pricing, you know, the unfortunate reality of it is game pricing is starting to catch up with inflation. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do about it. So $70 out of the gate, that's cheaper than your current Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Well, it's the same price. It's on par. Your deluxe edition steps it up another $30. So for another $30, you're getting, what, an extra 10 aircraft and 5 airports, and maybe some more career mode stuff. step it up another 30 bucks into the Premium Deluxe. And that gives you, is that another 15 over the Deluxe and another 5 airports? And you get the idea, so on and so forth. So $200, that's a pretty steep entry-level price for a sim, but again, we're seeing the scaling of game pricing via inflation. Games, if let's be honest, they've been 50, 60 bucks for way longer. We've seen gas go up in price since then. We've seen everything, food, you name it, go up in price since then. So it's unfortunately, I guess, high time that video games are escaped from the harsh world of high prices also starts to go up. So 200 bucks in the gate. Now, going back to where you should be getting them. Again, Xbox guys, sorry, this is your option here, is Xbox, Microsoft, if you will. I want to talk to my PC players about Steam. Again, your pricing is exactly the same, and I would encourage all of you who are on PC, most of you probably have a Steam account already, to purchase on Steam. Reasons, there's two primary reasons, and I'm sure there's other reasons that other people might know, but the two primary reasons is, one, I know in the current 2020, a lot of your configuration and Lua files and dynamic link libraries were all encrypted, meaning if you wanted to change something in one of those parameters, you couldn't do it. You would either have to know how to decrypt those files, or you just couldn't. Whereas I could go into my Steam library, Steam apps, Common, Flight Simulator, so on and so forth, and take care of it, whatever I want. The other reason, Marketplace. So those of you familiar with the differences between your, I guess we'll just call it the Xbox Marketplace. I think it's like the Windows Marketplace or whatever, but the inbuilt marketplace that you can click on inside of the store versus your third party. Third party is objectively better in my opinion. And I say this, one, because you obviously get a lot of your mods before they get converted and approved into the Xbox store, and then two, there's some stuff that just doesn't make it into the Xbox store. One of the biggest hang-ups for a lot of the third-party mods, at least the militarized ones, were no weapons. In fact, on that flyby there of the F-18 with the A-10, you can see that neither one of them has weapons on their pylons. That's because of a rule in the Microsoft store. Oh, okay, well, I'm screwing it up. So you can see weaponless A-10, weaponless F-18. Does it really matter? No, because it's a flight simulator. You're not going to be doing combat stuff anyway. But small rules like that can be the difference between you getting a mod, period, and just not getting it, right? How long did it take India Fox Techo? Is the F-35 even in? It has to be in the store by now, but I'm sure it took India Fox Techo the longest time to get their F-35 approved to get into the Microsoft store. But I would highly recommend getting Steam. If you're on PC, you probably already have a Steam account. Pricing is identical. So the very last point I want to talk about, and this is going to be a hot one, is will Flight Simulator 2024 look the same as what we're being presented? Again, this is a hot button item, I'm aware, but I want to, just for a second here, I want to play you a couple minutes of footage from the 2020 trailer, and then I want to play you a couple minutes from the new 2024 trailer. So we're going to start here. This is the original trailer, just to prove I'm not fibbing. Let me go out of full screen here, and you can see this was uploaded 4 years ago by Xbox. So no cheating, no fibbing. In fact, let's go back to my monitor here, and we'll watch just a couple minutes. So we're obviously in Rio de Janeiro. There's Christ the Redeemer. Okay, so you get the idea here, right? So that is the 2024 trailer. There's a few things or 2020 rather trailer. There's a few things I want to point out. Just keep this Rio de Janeiro shot in your mind. Let me move my mouse there. And I don't want to sound like I'm saying, oh yeah, Flight Simulator 2024 doesn't look better. That's not my point. It's objectively a better looking sim based on the trailers and footage that we've been provided. It looks significantly better than 2020. After 4 years of development, I hope it would. I just want to point out that my sim, in a lot of cases, with the completely and totally past the recommended system specifications for the sim, cannot keep up with and make the sim look as good as it does in some of this footage. So here we're in downtown. I believe this is this Dubai? I don't want to misspeak. I think it's Dubai, although that building looks like one in Iran. I'm not sure, but you can see the nice detail on the VL3's seat cushion there. Then we pull that sick, nasty vertical pull. Actually, no, we'll skip over to the New York scene. My New York cityscape has never looked this good until I installed the New York City Times third-party scenery. And again, I'm not saying that 2024 doesn't look better. It definitely does. You can see a lot of just the mushy looking textures and greenery. And this was, you know, revolutionary at the time. But has your sim ever looked as good as some of these shots is what I'm asking. And if so, cool. Maybe my computer just sucks. That's, you know, it's definitely a possibility. Same thing with the terrain masking. Again, I can see imperfections in this trailer, but my sim looks a lot worse. And those of you guys who watch the channel enough know. Going up to the Burj Khalifa, obviously you can see it's a lower resolution render of the building than like the Dubai City Times. Really, is that icing? It looks like icing on the side of the window. So yeah, definitely needing improvement, which we do see in the sim, but I don't know. The one that really stuck out to me was the 7-4 landing at LAX. This is amazing looking. I wish my sim looked this good. I have the, it's not feel there. I can't think of who makes the LAX scenery. I have that scenery, and it took that scenery to make LAX look anything like this good. You could see the archway and all that stuff in the background there. But I don't know, like my sim does not look as good as it does here. You know, the animated trucks and all that. I will say they did keep true to life with the generic traffic. Funny enough, there's none of that big pointy looking stuff in their trailers like what was available in the original sim. But so again, backing up to the shot of Brace the Redeemer here. This is 2020. This is 24. So let's go back to that Rio de Janeiro shot. Hopefully we can get it a little bit less blurry. Maybe not. No, I guess we can't. So comparing the two, there's no question in my mind that 2024 looks so much better than 2020. But this looks better than 2020. And so does this. And so does this. And so does, I don't know, this, right? It's possible to make your sim look like this, but you're going to have to buy that new 5000 series card that got leaked last week, right? So what I'm anticipating, and it's going to depend on your internet connection because they're talking about a lot of cloud side or server side based injection for the sim, is I would expect year 2020 not so much to look like it does, at least for ground textures and ground behavior, to look like any of the shots that we see here, but more so like a slightly polished version of what we see from the 2020 trailer. Those are just my thoughts. There's no proof of this, but do remember that this trailer it's an ad. It's to get you to spend your up to $200 or as low as $70 on their product. But anyway, that's it. I've ranted for far too long. Takeaways: buy it on Steam if you're on PC. Don't get overhyped. Those are the two takeaways. Don't get overhyped. Don't buy it on Microsoft. That's it. So that's going to do it for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, take it easy.